So when you get there, let's talk about Inoki, because again, this is in this era, he's trying to make some political moves. He's still a huge figure in professional wrestling and sports in that part of the world. And somehow, some way, it's going to be you and him putting together a match. Were you nervous, anxious, excited?
No, literally, I didn't get to talk to him. I was just excited to get out of there. They said, Inoki wins. I said, no problem. No discussion. How? Kick to the back of the head. Okay. I'll tell him when to do it.
Oh, wow.
That's all. I had never met him. Isn't that funny? I mean, I met him briefly to say hi in '94, but I had met him. I shouldn't say that, but I'd never talked, never tied up with him, never worked with him. I watched him wrestle a couple times, and just he respected me and I respected him, and I say it to this day. We made music. It was great.
The Observer would say this: it was the first time Inoki and Flair, two of the 5 biggest stars worldwide of this generation, had ever been in the ring together. Reports we received were it was the 52-year-old Japanese senator's best match in a few years. Flair, wrestling in the first main event since the so-called retirement in October, was heavily praised for his ability to carry Inoki. There was an unbelievable crowd chant for Inoki when he came out. Well, let's talk about that. Is this the biggest crowd you ever wrestled in front of?
190,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, by far. And the only guy they ever cheered for the whole time we were there was Inoki.
Wow. That tells you the stardom he had even in that part.
What's that?
That tells you the level of stardom he had even in that area.
No, I mean, you can hear the crowd. Don't understand me, but I think when we first got there, I think I told you the story. I was in the box the first night, right, with one of the sports ministers. And he goes, how come that guy can take that guy down so easy and do all this? How does that? Why is he jumping in the air? Someone had done a leapfrog or something.
Yeah.
I said, I don't know. You won't see any of that phony shit in my match.
Oh, God. I love that.
That's what I said to him. I was hitting Inoki as hard as I could. Those guys don't care. They can take it. He was a tough kid, man. And that what Steve Regal said is just what kind of man Steve is. He said choke me out. He meant it, because Steve is an old school guy and he fears nobody, as everyone knows. And Steve's tough. He's like Fit. Those guys are tougher than hell. They're taught how to wrestle overseas like that, because they have to pay the price to get in the business.
Of course, Inoki finishes the match with a reverse kick, a knee drop off the top rope, and an enziguri for the 3 count. How, I know we've sort of talked about this sort of tongue in cheek, but how difficult is it really? You don't speak the language. You're not afforded the opportunity to talk to the guy before the match.